Welcome back to Exotic Car Hacks. An interesting day today because you guys know that I rarely get excited about getting a new car. And part of the reason I have not been buying as many cars is that the industry has been quite boring and there isn't a lot of cool stuff still coming out. And whatever's coming out that's cool, I'm buying it. I did buy something recently that I spent a little bit of time with and has quickly become one of my favorite cars to drive. And therefore, I bought this. This is a Maybach S580, except that it's completely customized by Brabus USA. Now, this is an original Brabus car. This car was literally purchased by Brabus brand new, modified with their stuff, and then basically sold to me by Brabus, which is a pretty interesting thing. And I've now had this for about 3 weeks, and it's really good. Usually I do a review and talk about, well, the values of this and blah, 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 but this is a really good product, and it's very rare for me to come across a really good product, which is why I want to share it with you and share with you a little bit of the details that make this car incredible. So bear with me, as this is probably going to be a video that's over 15 minutes long and goes into the intricate details that when searching for this car online, I didn't see other people talking about. So let's take a look at my new Brabus S580 Maybach. So the first part is from the factory. You have a two-tone red top with a black bottom. You'll see the Brabus upgraded front spoiler along with new grills, badging, incredible wheels, lowering suspension module, and then you continue to carry on to the back where you have this carbon fiber valance, Brabus exhaust, and Brabus badging. Pretty simple upgrades, but very tasteful. Now, usually you're not used to seeing a Maybach with carbon fiber, which is kind of an interesting component to add to it, but much prettier than a factory car. And I think the wheels look superb on this from Brabus. Even though I'm not a big fan usually of these large kind of like non-design wheels, these work really well and complement the car well. But the one part that I want to point out about this car specifically is details, because details are what make this car so different from everything else, including the fact that most people that own these cars don't also own a new Phantom, so they don't really have perspective. This is a 350K car with the Brabus package on it. This is a factory MSRP of 700, so this is almost 2.5 times the price of this, but nonetheless, is it really 2.5 times better? We're gonna talk about that. Now, I can tell you that this car has surprised the living crap out of me because I didn't expect to actually like it. I just thought it looked cool, and then I thought I would buy it and really flip it, but I decided to keep it. I bought two of them. I bought a white and black tuxedo model, and I bought this black on red one, both of them Brabus cars. I'm selling the other one at Exotics Hunter if someone wants it. It is superb, exact same configuration, different set of wheels, and the other one has Brabus upgraded brakes because the wheels showcase the brakes. But let's take a look here with very decently pretty key, nothing like that is extraordinary, very simple with the trunk, the unlock, and the lock. But I want to point out that once you unlock the car, take a look at these handles right here. Look at the beautiful LEDs around the handles pop out, and look at the Maybach lit up badging. These little details really give you a feeling of luxury. There are a lot of details to unpack in the front. You have one of the best LED systems I've ever seen in any car. The way it just wraps around everything with lights is mind-boggling. The speakers come out and have multicolors around them and also look superb, or the fact that the belts even have LEDs around them to make sure you know where they are. Outside of all the features that come with the car, it's about touch with this car, and touch is so important with this car because of experience. First one is that none of these buttons feel cheap. Everything feels super high-end. None of these buttons move when you touch them, but the seats move almost like your hand is guiding the button, but the button itself doesn't move. Like the seat's moving, but the button itself isn't moving. It's just like sensitive to touch, but it's just superb, like it's perfect. That's the first thing, which I thought was amazing, and that's more of an S-Class thing. But the other thing, before we even turn on the car, is these little vents here. So you see, you have these cool vents like every other car has AC vents, and usually you have a little knob here that goes up and down, and you would change how much temperature from each vent can be distributed. Well, this car has something else, and I want to point this out because I think it's really cool. You see these vents light up here, which is really cool. And because they light up, you can press this button here, and you can see basically less air coming through. And it's superb because it's not ugly. And these vents are metal, and it's like so pretty and so well put. It's the perfect amount. And the other part that I think is amazing that no one's talked about is the fact that you have this 3D effect dash that's literally 3D. Like everything here looks 3D, and it's like mind-boggling how simple yet how exciting this makes the driving experience. Now, you have a giant screen here, and then you have all of your phone charger, sunglass holder. You could watch any review about this car. There's about 100 cameras in and out of these cars. It captures everything outside. You can monitor who's around your car when you're not there. You can see the car through the app. I mean, it is bonkers, but I think that's more of a standard optional thing on just about every S-Class, including the fact that you have this 3D thing as an option in some S-Classes. But really, really superb, just generally speaking. Very, very high points here for Mercedes with quality, craftsmanship, and the way everything comes together. And just look at this LED stuff going on here. It is nuts. Just like the Rolls-Royce though, you can also use this button here, hit the right side of the thing and move the seat forward, basically showing that, hey, that seat can be controlled from this side. This is a very Rolls-Royce feature, and it's just really, really good. I mean, really, really good. Now, when your handles, you see, are in, you can put your hand here, and it just, without even touching it, it just senses your hand and just pulls out. This is the amazing part on a Maybach, and it's this, obviously, this interior, which is absolutely bonkers. So this is similar to a Rolls-Royce extended wheelbase. These obviously fold in, you can put them away, which is pretty cool, but you have your little table here, your little holder there, you have your entire screen here, which controls, and the view here, just so you know, is once again mind-boggling. Lazy boys at the bottom, climate control, heated cooled cup holders, champagne holder, and a full refrigerator in the back with champagne flutes and 2 trays. It is amazing. And again, one of the things I want to point out here is that you can look at the details. Even if you want to shut this because you have so many vents back here, you can just press it and it comes out. You really don't have something that's like ugly. Every little piece has been very well thought out. And the best part, I'm gonna tell my cameraman to walk back now for 1 second so you can see this. You can actually close the door and you can open the door, and that's pretty freaking cool. So that's a lot of value, guys. This car is like 230K, like new, without Brabus parts, and like 100K worth of Brabus upgrades, but you don't even need the Brabus upgrades to experience this. This is insanity. It's so cool. And the part that I find most interesting in this, people ask me, since I've posted this on social, is this better or is the Rolls better? And I want to point out one key thing. First, this fits in the garage, the Rolls doesn't. The Rolls, I think, is a better driving experience, but this Maybach is a much better riding in experience, and it's way more comfortable with the pillows and everything else. It's just superb. And then of course, you can, if you don't like the look of this, you can close this and have a much smoother looking surface so everything looks better, more photogenic. And then here, basically, you can go ahead and take your tablet and look at, again, look at this. You take your tablet and then look, you put it away. This is the tablet's down, but look at just the detail. Undoing the tablet, look at how smooth it comes up, how pretty it is. And it's just so perfect. And then you can control basically the whole car from here, exactly the same way that basically you're controlling this and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to show you this so you guys kind of understood is nuts. And then on that side, you have something else. So if you have all these massaging features, heated, cooled seats everywhere, but that side right there has a button that allows you to go to sleep. And when you press that button, the shades come up in all sides. And what else happens? This seat goes forward and this seat completely extends almost into a bed. And I thought that was pretty incredible too. Really, really good, assuming no one's sitting up front. Just really exciting. Like, they do such a good job in this car at hitting all your senses from visual to touch. Like, they really, really nail it. I mean, I'm at a loss of words. So what's wrong with this car? What's really bad about it? So the first issue that I think is pretty bad is there's very limited, take a look here, and you have a refrigerator here. This is the fridge where all the bottles go. This really limits your trunk significantly. So usually you'd be able to carry 2 suitcases. With a Maybach, just probably 2 carry-ons, no huge suitcase unless it's shaped really awkwardly, but very, very limited for a car this size. And I think partially because of the refrigerator, but again, really showcasing that this is a business car more than anything else, not a leisure car. That is more of a leisure car than this, and is a lot more fun to drive as a driver, just simply because it does a better job at focusing on the road. This really focuses on a lot of tech, and the tech isn't necessarily that good. The engine, being also the V8 instead of the V12, is a little bit lagging compared to the Rolls-Royce counterpart. In terms of power, you still feel the car moving a little bit. And there is something else that people don't talk about, which I think is, since I own both of them, I thought this was a defect with this car, but it's really just the way the car is basically built. Once you're sitting in it and you're playing music, you feel the music in the seats, and that's a very weird sensation in certain seats over others. I'm not a fan of that because it really makes the experience not as pleasant. But outside of that, it's a pretty spectacular product. One, as a product itself. Secondly, in terms of what it does. Now, let's talk about values, but before that, let's hear from our sponsors at GrailZ.
GrailZ.com is a reputable online platform specializing in auctioning high-end timepieces. Known for its transparency and security, it provides a reliable way to sell watches online. Focused on smooth transactions, GrailZ ensures a secure environment for both buyers and sellers. Prioritizing genuine buyers, the platform offers a premium selling experience for sellers and great deals for buyers on luxury watches. Explore GrailZ at GrailZ.com for top-notch service in the luxury watch market.
So now that we're back, should you be buying a Maybach S580, period, regardless that it's Brabus or not, knowing where car values are going, and knowing that Maybachs historically haven't kept up their values very well? One of the benefits of having an S580 versus the V12 counterpart is that the cost basis of the car is significantly less than the V12. This is a big deal because at $220K for a car itself, and most of these being buyable without the Brabus parts at a $50K discount, that means that this is a $170K car. And that's a lot of car for the money, like a lot of car for the money. And for 170 grand, there isn't much else you can buy on the market that can rival what this car can do in any way. And this car lives up to its expectations in ways that I cannot explain. The Maybach portion of it is great, but the Mercedes part of it is equally good. And this is important because this is, for someone that wants to drive, an opportunity to get a glimpse at what the new S63 AMG bi-turbo is basically set off now that it's a hybrid. It is the better variation of this in a drivable package rather than a get driven in package. But this is exquisite. It is the best product I've seen from Mercedes in a long time, since they released a new G-Wagon in 2019. This is a quality product. It really fits what it's supposed to do. And the best part about it is that while today I think the values are very aggressive thanks to this downturn we're having in the car business, giving us the ability to buy these cars for $50K under MSRP, this also gives you the opportunity to therefore add 100K of Brabus parts, ultimately near free, being in the car just a few grand over what it cost from the factory new. So, you know, if I was going to say to someone, should they be buying a Maybach from a value standpoint, I would tell you absolutely yes, it's a 10 out of 10 for what it is. Secondly, should you buy a Maybach from a value as in a retained value standpoint? Reality is Mercedes product does depreciate. If you're going to be buying one, I highly recommend doing it for 12 months, get a significant discount on the car, and then get out of it 12 months later before values crash too much. You'll probably be exposed less than 10% and it will work out quite well. And finally, my thoughts in terms of the Rolls versus the Maybach, simply put, I'll simplify it for you. If you want to drive yourself, buy a Rolls-Royce Phantom. If you want to get driven, buy a Maybach. In my case, I don't have to choose. Perhaps if you're using Exotic Car Hacks, you don't have to either. If you're still confused, were born under a rock, or simply don't know what Exotic Car Hacks is, you can click the link in the description and learn what car hacking is generally and what we've invented as space, allowing you to drive cars without losing money. And if you're ready to join Exotic Car Hacks and join the 22,000 plus people that have trusted us, then click the link below and join us while it's still pretty affordable to do so. Otherwise, leave me a note in the comments. What do you think of my new Brabus S580? I'll be keeping this probably for a year or two before getting rid of it. I absolutely adore it. Driver or be driven, I love this car because it fits in my garage and gives me what my Rolls would give me if it actually fit. Otherwise, a lot of car for the value. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know what you think of my latest gadget.